Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I've been in my Notion bag heavy since the beginning of the year.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls use Notion. You gorgeous, gorgeous girls keep the world in motion.
Since I've been working on my Notion, I've gotten a few questions on if I prefer Goodnotes over Notion. Well, to be honest, I can't recommend one over the other as most of my planning has been done in Goodnotes. So for the month of February, I'm going to use Notion for my planning. Now for my Goodnotes folks, don't worry. I still created a mood board for the month of February and you got February stickers. But I am going to give planning in Notion a try. Let's get into it. I went in and I already did some pre-planning in Notion. So this is going to be more like a tour of how I'm going to plan my month versus you watching me type in everything. I figured that would save a little time. So for the dashboard, I didn't have to do much to the dashboard. For the task list here, I'm going to use that as my running task list for the month. So I've already added in a SQL coding course. I want to complete that for my job, and also an Adobe course that I'm currently taking. I want to finish that. And moving down to the calendar, one thing I already love about planning in Notion, I didn't have to write in everything on the calendar. What I have in my Google Calendar already transferred over to Notion, so it's pretty much planned out for the month. I don't have a lot going on in the month of February. I have a couple of appointments. My daughter's going to get her license on the 12th. My daughter's trying to go get her license on the 12th. President's Day is on the 19th. I'm off that day. The following day is my sister's birthday and she's going to do a spa day that day, and I'm glad that she asked me to go with her. I've already planned out my content for the month of February, so the plan is written and we're going to stick to the plan. So in January, I wrote out all my goals for 2024. And this month, I made sure that those goals aligned with the goals that I set for the year. So I broke my monthly goals down into personal, relationships, health, business, and career. For personal, I'm going to read 2 books. Black Cake is the first book. That's the book that was picked out by the book club that I'm in. And also I'm going to read Lemon Pepper for the month of February. I plan to have one day to myself, and I'm also going to stick to my budget for the month of February. For relationships, I'm going to have 2 date nights in the month of February, 1 activity with a friend, and 1 activity with my family. For health, I want to start working out. I said that last month and I have not started yet. I gave the excuse of I was waiting for the people who new year, new me. They were taking over the gym. Now it's time to get to business. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be doing something, whether it's going for a walk outside, going to the gym and doing something. I want to get back to doing step, but I know I just can't jump back into step class. So that's my next goal. After I start back working out, we're going to step class. For business, I want to do 1 YouTube video a week and 2 short form videos. And I also want to do some more training with my camera. I've been looking into how this camera works. I want to make sure I'm getting the best quality out of the camera. Also my lighting situation. Just been doing some research trying to make sure that I'm putting out better quality content. For my career, I've already talked about that in my task list. I'm going to complete 1 SQL training for the month of February. If I complete 2, that's an extra bonus, but definitely going to complete 1. Moving on, the next area, I'm going to look at the budget template. The budget template is already set up for the year, but I'm going to look at my expenses. For the expenses, I like to leave my view on the quarter view. I have it set up by paycheck. I've already got February here, and then when I get ready to pay my bills for the month or see what I have to pay for the month, I have it separated into what bills go on check 1 and what bills go on to check 2. Let's look at the agenda, and that's what I'm going to use to do my weekly planning. So to get a new agenda, I just have to select this new week and the template opens up. Once the template opens, it's basically task lists for each day of the week. So I'm going to be doing task lists for my weekly planning, and then I can check the boxes off after everything's done for that day. Now for my favorite part of my monthly plan with me, the book club you didn't know you signed up for. The books and Audible log is one template that I didn't update, and we're gonna do that now. We're just gonna pause right now and take note for my count of books that I completed in 2023. It says 37. I know there's one on here that's pending, so really I read 36 books last year, and that is goals. Let's see if we can do it again this year. My goal for this year is to read 30 books for the year. So I did it last year. Let's see if I can do it again this year. To update this one, I'm going to duplicate the current reading section. And under the reading challenge, I'm going to create an archive. I'm going to do backslash and turn it and create a page there. And I'm going to label this one archives. And give it my trash can icon. For currently reading on this one, I'm going to add in 2023 so I know what year it was that I read the books in. And now I can drag that section to my archives and it'll be there for me to go back and reflect on. So now we want to remove all the books that are listed in the currently read section. If you come up beside book name and check that box, it'll highlight everything. Right click in the blue section and it gives you the option to delete. So we're going to delete everything out of there. Now, one thing I want to do before I start adding in my books, I want to add in a currently reading view. So I'll be able to see the books that I'm reading currently separate from my whole reading log, because the reading log is going to be a running list of all the books that I'm reading for the year. So I'm going to use the plus sign and add in currently reading. And I want this to be a gallery view. The card preview, I want it to be the page cover. I want it to fit the image, and I want to open it in the side peek, and done. Now let's add in the books that I was going to read for January. So we have Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith. I enjoyed reading this book, but I didn't enjoy reading it as much as I did Will's book. To me, Jada's book is written more like a self-help book. It's more of a prompt to make you think about things that are currently going on in your life or things that you've experienced in life. The book was good. I would recommend the book. I just enjoyed reading his book better. I feel like he went into more detail in some subjects that she just skimmed over, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give Jada's book 4 stars. And the next book that I had was the 12 week year by Brian Morgan. I'm currently reading this book and it's been interesting so far. I want to wait until I've read the whole book before I speak on it, because I want to dive deeper into the thought process behind this 12-week year. I'm about 20% through the book, so I haven't really got through enough of it for me to tell you what's going on in the book, but it has been interesting so far. The next book I had for January was This Could Be Us. Kennedy Ryan did her big one with this one. I enjoyed reading this book more than I did Before I Let Go. This is the sequel to Before I Let Go. This book, okay, let me say this. For me, how I gauge a great read is if you have me talking to myself or looking like I'm talking to myself because I'm talking to the book or the characters in the book, laughing out loud, and people who are in the room with me while I'm reading looking at me crazy, that's a good book. And this book sent me through all the emotions. I wanted to fight. I laughed. I felt bad for the character at some points in time. All around, this was a great read, and I definitely recommend this book too. If you're a Kennedy Ryan fan, I definitely recommend this book. She did not disappoint at all. I'm giving this book 5 stars. Now I'm going to add in my 2 books that I'm going to read for the month of February. Now that I have all my books added, one thing I want to do is make sure that I add in the picture for the books, because I did not do that last year. First off, I didn't know how to do it last year, but now that I know better, I'm doing better. I'm going to open the book and I'm going to add a cover of the book as the cover for each page in Notion. Once all the book covers are in and you go to the gallery view, then you can see a picture of all your book covers. And also on your currently list, they'll be there too. I forgot this part, but for your currently reading, you want to make sure you add a filter, and on the filter, you want to filter it for the books that are in progress. That way you can see the books that you are currently reading, and the rest of the books that you have on your reading log will be filtered off. The last template that I'm going to use as part of my monthly planning routine is going to be the habit tracker. And with the habit tracker, it has my monthly summary. So it's going to roll up everything that I've done for the month of February when I add it to the weekly tracker. And for the weekly tracker, I've added a template that it has a formula for the day of the week it is. It's automatically going to keep track of the day of the week, and the view is going to be the view for the current week that we are in. And everything that I add in the weekly tracker, or when I check it off, is going to roll up to this monthly view. I added a filter so it only shows you the current month that you're in, but I'm going to add January into the filter. I'm going to add in my gallon of water for January. And the goal is going to be, let's say 20. So when I come down here, since this is the 29th of January, and I check off water for January, and I add the habit in for water for January, it's going to show as one day actually completed, and then the percentage of how much I've met and the percentage of how far I am for completing my goal. So this is what the habit tracker will look like at the end of the month. So my plan is to use Notion for the month of February, and towards the end of the month I'll come back and do a comparison of the two with Notion and Goodnotes. Like I said, I've primarily done all my planning in Goodnotes, but I know a lot of people use planning for Notion, and I've never done my full planning in Notion. So I'm definitely going to try that out this month, and I'll let you know how I feel about that towards the end of the month. All right, y'all, that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to y'all the next time.